episode 531 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering, whether you are playing it in spring, wherever spring is actually happening, or you're playing it in the endless winter, which we are experiencing in Minnesota. We are here for you.
Yes, I'm one of your endless winter hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your endless winter hosts, Megan.
We're trudging through the final days. What we can only hope are the final days.
They'd better be the final days of winter. Also, you only called them the final days. So
yeah, you're right. We're trudging through the final days. Period. End of sentence.
Baby.
But we're gonna get there one way or another. And on today's episode, we're all gonna help you get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Wherever you're going, we're hopefully there for you, sitting in your pocket and nesting in your ears like tiny little robins laying the first eggs of spring.
We're like Lyft drivers for your life.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about a few super exciting things on the episode today to get us all out of the winter doldrums.
Yes.
And
go ahead.
And one of those things is Oathbreaker, the newest and coolest Magic the Gathering official format.
That's right. We're having Judge Rob on to talk to us about Oathbreaker. We're going to have a really good time. What decks could you be playing right now?
Yes. Right now, you could be playing them.
At this moment, what decks could you be playing in Oathbreaker? Hey.
It's super cool. A lot of people have been talking about it on Twitter, so we wanted to help you out, get you jump started in Magic's newest official format.
No, Maria, that's a different format.
Oh, yeah, jump started.
We want to get you Oathbreakered on Oathbreaker.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got a story time. We're moving on to the next chapter.
New Phyrexia story.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So before we do all that, crucial to what we were talking about at the top of the show,
yes,
which was winter and how long it's going to last here in Minnesota, we had a patron challenge last week.
Yes, we did. Where I would melt a bucket of snow in my sink for every new or upped pledge.
Yes.
So thank you. Since that time, thank you so very much.
You have forced Megan to put snow in her sink and melt it.
Thank you so much to Ernesto, to Kit, to Austin, to Elliot, to Nathan, to Jan, and to Jim, and to Zoo.
Yay!
So much. Thank you all. I have so far melted 5 buckets of ice. I need to add snow. It's very icy snow at this point. Let me tell you, it was I would call it semi-traumatizing.
Why? You're doing you're ending winter.
Okay, Maria, here's my question. How long do you think it took 5 buckets of ice to melt in my sink?
What is the temperature in your house?
I would say that our kitchen is warm.
Okay, warm. I'm going to say those are pretty big buckets. By the way, if you're a patron, you can check this out on Discord.
Yes, I haven't posted the videos yet because the file size is too large for Discord, but you can see the buckets and the sink full of snow.
You can send it to me. I bought a month of Nitro.
Oh,
so I can upload it for you.
Nice, I will.
It was $2.99. But okay. So those buckets were large, was what I was trying to say.
5 buckets.
5 buckets, very large.
Warm
I think
kitchen.
One bucket would take I feel like it would take a long time. Maybe like 3 to 4 hours.
All right.
What is it?
It took 4+ hours.
Yeah.
And I say that because, do you know what? I, in fact, boiled some water and poured it on it to try and speed up the process. And it still took, I would say, 4.5 hours.
Wow.
4.5 hours.
That's science happening live before your eyes.
Wildly traumatizing. Also, I'm going to, spoiler alert, the video, you're just watching snow melt, man. That's what the video is. But thank you all so much for truly, there's a hole now in the snowbank out front of our home.
Great.
There's a big hole in the snowbank.
And you did that.
And you put that hole there.
You did that.
You did it.
You helped end winter in Minnesota. And for
just
that, we're eternally grateful.
Yes. Also, this episode is yours.
Yes, it is.
Whether you upped your pledge or are a new patron, this episode is yours. Yep. Claim whatever part of it you'd like.
Yeah, we'd love to know in our Discord channel. Thank you. If you want to join our snow melting family, you can by going to patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Just takes a couple of minutes. Become a patron, get access to our Discord as well as other great rewards, including ending winter faster here in Minneapolis. Thank you as well to our sponsor, Card Kingdom. We love them. CardKingdom.com/GLHF is the link to go to get whatever you need for your magical life, be it supplies, be it singles, be it sealed product. Card Kingdom is just, in our opinion, the best place that you can go to buy this stuff.
So great.
They've got the best kind of like ethics in the game community. They've got the best customer service. They have the most awesome employees. And a really easy website to use too.
They're great.
I love them. Got to sell some cards for store credit, get an extra bonus. And everybody who's interacted with them, who's found them through our show, says they love them. So that's why we feel so confident and proud
that you will love them also.
Yes. CardKingdom.com/GLHF. Hey everybody, we've got Judge Rob in the house to talk Oathbreaker with us this episode.
Yes.
Hi Rob.
Hello.
So what's the exciting news with Oathbreaker?
So the exciting news with Oathbreaker is it is now an official format. It is on the Wizards of the Coast website. They are supporting it. They don't plan to release products for it, but you never know.
Yeah. So what does being an official Magic format mean?
It means it's on the Wizards site. It's on the banned and restricted list up there. It is going to have Wizards talk about it in official capacities. It'll probably show up in some sort of sanctioning things at some point in
so exciting
in your sanctioning tools, and it'll probably show up more things like Magic Cons.
You know,
that's so exciting.
We've had Rob here talking about Oathbreaker for a long time, and it was unofficial every time. But you know what? This episode we made it official.
We are the Oathbreaker hipsters. We were there before it was official.
It's true. I've been playing this format for a while. I don't have as many Oathbreaker decks as I have Commander decks, but I have like 20. So
how many Commander decks do you have?
57.
Oh my God.
I accidentally almost completed the every color combination challenge. I went through my decks recently and indexed them. Yeah. And I realized that I'm missing out on 4 different 4 colors. So I built another 4 color. And so I have 3 4-color combinations left.
Wow.
And that's
Holy
it.
God.
And someday you will have, in the Grand Magic tradition, caught them all.
Yeah.
You know that phrase from Magic.
From Magic.
Gotta catch them all. Yeah, they say that in Magic. Rob, if anybody out there is unfamiliar with Oathbreaker, you're going to tell us how it works.
Yeah.
But before you do, I've noticed you've brought us a special treat.
I did.
Wow.
So we've talked about this.
Yes.
These are good cookies.
He's pointing at Numinos.
I am pointing at Numinos. Yes,
only listening.
For those of you listening at home, these are Numinos. These are good cookies. These are Oreos. These are
acceptable cookies.
These are adequate cookies.
Consider your next words carefully.
These are cookies.
They are
undoubtedly.
So I brought these in. You could probably hear them crinkle in my microphone just to make our audio friends angry at me. And we're gonna try some of these.
Yes, because Rob on a previous episode asserted that Numinos are superior to Oreos.
Because they are.
And you've had them, right, Megan? So you agreed.
I've had Fig Newmans, which are
better
wildly superior
to Fig Newton.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I grabbed, because they only had Hint of Mint at the store, and also because those are all very good cookies anyways, I grabbed the Hint of Mint Numinos.
This is an official taste test.
All right, that's an Oreo. Sorry.
Flew apart as well. That's getting
they also have low structural integrity.
Dock points.
Did you know?
Right.
And Rob said every Newman product is better than the original version.
It's better than the comparable. Oreos are the knockoff cookies, as a note. Hydrox were the originals.
Hydrox were the original.
Yeah. So
good point. So we're gonna now test Oreo versus Numino. I have a Zoa Orange Zero Sugar energy drink to cleanse my palate between cookies.
Really gonna help you out.
Oh my God! But while we test these, Rob, would you explain to the which one is this? Oh, you okay?
Yeah, these are
both Numinos.
Yes.
To the good people at home, what Oathbreaker is?
Thank you. Oathbreaker, it's a format that was designed by a bunch of friends of mine because they wanted to play multiplayer Commander style stuff over like lunch breaks, which you can't play Commander over a lunch break. So Oathbreaker is a 60 card singleton format. So it's smaller, more compact decks, more focused. Instead of a legendary creature as your commander, you choose a legendary planeswalker. Anything that says commander, so like if you have a card that says you can cast this as long as you control your commander, we'll counter Oathbreaker instead. All the word commander changes into Oathbreaker for that purpose. You get a legendary planeswalker as your commander, and then you get a signature spell to go along with your planeswalker. The color restrictions are just like commander. So if you are playing Calyx, Destiny's Hand, you can only play green and white cards. It has its own banned and restricted list, which bans some of the fast mana from commander. So Sol Ring, Mana Vault, these are banned. The goal of the format is to be fast. Games must end, but less explosive. So it's less like the person who's playing Sol Ring is the arch enemy in the game because you don't have them. It's designed to be multiplayer, though I've played a lot of 1v1 Oathbreaker as well, and it's perfectly fine. You may or may not even cast your Oathbreaker over the course of the game. Like some decks just they have it there just as an extra card.
Yeah, just as something to do in case their deck doesn't shape up.
Yep, or they're strongly themed. We'll talk about a Nicol Bolas Dragon God deck that's together. That have you ever delivered unto evil?
Every day,
I mean, every day. Wake up and I'm delivering unto evil. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oathbreaker is like the format of Magic Kids.
Yeah, Magic Kids. Yeah.
Which is an organization that you work with a lot,
Yep.
and that we have been proud to know and talk about many times on this show.
Yes.
Yeah, Magic Kids does basically stuff within youth groups that want to run Magic and any kind of charity stuff for Magic. So we ship out kits to people who want to run a youth organization like an after-school club or a Boys and Girls Club that has like a Magic component for kids. You get a free kit just by requesting one. That's also featured on the Wizards website. We're at all of the big stuff. We're at Dream Hacks that have the regional championships. We're at Magic Cons that have that are just the hugest Magic things that have Pro Tours and everything. And there's a giant Magic Kids booth there as well. We're going to be at Minneapolis, and it's going to be a bunch of the people who founded Magic Kids hanging out there at the booth this time. Because it's right in our backyard.
They're a Minnesota org.
Yep, they're based out of Rochester, based a lot of Mayo Clinic people, and they want to give back to the community, and they want to help people have fun and build skills in kids, because Magic makes you read a lot, and it makes you do a lot of math.
Yeah.
And
I've been forced to do more math in my life thanks to Magic than ever before.
Yes, absolutely true.
Okay, here's my question. Maria, do you believe that you have at this point in your life you have done more math as a result of Magic than you did in school?
Of course.
Like grand
Not
sum
even
math.
close.
Yeah.
Not even remotely close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you learn things, like you get into Magic and you're just like, I'm just going to do sums a bunch, which helps. Like being able to do sums fast is helpful, but eventually you're to the point where it's like, I need to figure out what my odds of drawing cards on my deck are. And you're like, how do I figure this out? And you're like, hypogeometric distribution. Oh, cool.
I mean, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some cool decks that you and other people have come up with in Oathbreaker, as well as some decks that we're going to play in Oathbreaker in an upcoming video.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
But before we do that, we've got to give
we have to talk about these.
Yeah, let's
our
review these cookies.
verdict.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't eat both?
She had some of each.
Finished both.
I'll be finishing these.
Okay.
But I have a very conclusive opinion.
Yes.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, tell me about your opinion.
Okay, so great. I'm an Oreo fan. I like an Oreo. I had this Newman. The cookie on the Numino is vastly superior to the cookie on the Oreo.
Yep.
So superior.
It's not even close, honestly.
Yep.
We have the mint versions here. So I'll just say this. I think the mint in the traditional Oreo is better than the mint that's in the Numino, the flavor. But if I was to taste a normal Numino, I think I would like it better than the Oreo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I grabbed mint because they were comparable.
Yeah.
The mint is much, much stronger in the Oreo, but it's also, like you were saying, that radioactive green.
Yes,
This
it is.
is going to be mint.
I just had the same conclusion that like the Numino is like, oh, this is an actual chocolate cookie. The Oreo is like, this is a placeholder.
This is where chocolate went and like sneezed.
Look, hey, put the idea of a chocolate cookie on either side, okay?
Yeah. Yep.
And the Numino is a real cookie.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. This
It's
is
a real-
it is thicker, everybody.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
that doesn't sign you up,
it's
I don't
so
know
much
what will.
denser.
It's dense.
Yeah.
It's so dense.
And it tastes like it has actual cocoa powder in it.
Yes, it tastes like
exactly.
an actual chocolate cookie. No hate on Oreos. I'll eat an Oreo.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But if I were to purchase one or the other of these, I would purchase Numinos.
Yeah, like I purchase weird Oreos. It turns out that the pistachio Oreos that they did were very good.
Oh, I never tried those.
That's surprising.
Pistachio.
Well, I love pistachios. So like,
I'm
Podcast
always
listeners,
skeptical.
you did not see the shade that Rob just glanced at Megan with upon her
honestly
pistachio
felt like
comment.
Rob was mad at me, but that's like the closest I've ever felt to like, you're angry at me?
look, they're nature's protein, okay? Also, they're a cookie filled, or they're a nut that is filled with rage. You can't store them.
Rage?
Yeah, they will burn down shipping containers if you store them wrong.
Really?
Yeah, they spontaneously combust. Pistachios are angry little.
All right, you know what? I'm into them now.
They spontaneously combust?
Yeah, they'll spontaneously combust.
I'm Googling this. That's wild. Pistachio spontaneous combust. You know, I didn't spell it right, but Google will understand. It's true. Pistachios can combust.
You spelled all three of the words wrong, and Google corrected you to yes, they can combust.
The popular mid-afternoon treat. First of all, I have a problem with them telling me when this is supposed to be eaten. These are supposed to be eaten. I feel like you can eat a nut at any time.
They're an anytime food.
Has the tendency to generate heat on its own if packed in large quantities due to its high levels of fat, 45 to 55%, and low water content. The fats in pistachios break down through reactions with the air as the nut decomposes and they start on fire.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Okay.
True pistachio facts.
New favorite nut, quite honestly, from knowing that fact. That's all the words we'll say about that.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about Oathbreaker. Now an official thing. What else did you want to say about it before we get into decks?
I just want to talk about how fun the format is. Like, I built these decks and we got together and jammed them yesterday to make sure that I didn't make any egregious mistakes building them, and we played for like 8 hours.
Oh, great.
So
meant to be played over lunch, can be played for up to 8 hours.
Yeah. If your Oathbreaker lasts more than 4 hours, high five somebody. Yeah. So the ones that I want to talk about. So do you want to talk about yours first?
Sure. Let's
talk about Calyx here. So
yes.
I asked you, like, who do you want? You want Calyx as your Oathbreaker? And you said, yes, please.
Yes, please.
So Calyx Destiny's Hand. Calyx is a Planeswalker. Costs white-green 2 for a legendary Planeswalker. Calyx starts with 4 loyalty. +1. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an enchantment card from among them and put that card into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. -3. Exile target creature or enchantment you don't control and... until target enchantment you control leaves the battlefield. So you basically pick an enchantment and then it becomes an Oblivion Ring.
Yeah, it's a little O-ring
It's a little O-ring. And then -7, return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Beautiful.
I'm going to spoil. We played a bunch of this. Calyx never survived long enough to -7 and he didn't want to.
Well, I mean, that's a long time to get there.
It was an ambitious ultimate.
Plus oneing on a 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I just saw the first creature in the creature list. I've never heard of this creature, Maria. Look at how cute it is.
I know,
For an Arlet,
it's so
yeah.
good.
It's so cute.
It's adorable. There's a bunch of cute things in this. And there's a bunch of things that you just love anyways.
Enchantments and the creatures that care about them are inherently cute. It's just in their DNA. I can't help it.
Yeah, you can't help it.
So Calyx comes with a signature spell.
Yeah, his signature spell is Retether, which is a sorcery for white and 3. It says return each aura card from your graveyard to play. Only creatures can be enchanted this way. So it rebuys all the things in your graveyard.
Yeah, so if you're worried about people, like the drawback of auras is, of course, you're cashing out, you're going all in on something, and you might get 2 for 1, 3 for 1, 4 for 1, 5 for 1, 6 for 1, whatever.
The numbers go up.
If you're a bottles player. So yeah, Retether just lets you get everything back and do it again. Great. And it's replayable, of course, because it's your signature spell, so you can cast it more than once.
And just like a commander, your Oathbreaker and signature spell get a commander tax as you recast them. So your first retether is 4, your second one is 6. If you need 2 retethers, it means the game has gone horribly wrong. But it does sometimes happen. If you need 3, I don't know if you can get out of the game, but it usually just kills people for casting retether in this deck.
Beautiful.
This is just, it's straightforward Bogles. Like it has a huge ton of enchantresses too, both to slot fill and because of the inherent drawback of auras. So there's a lot of, SRAM, Verduin Enchantress, Mesa Enchantress.
We're drawing cards as we're playing our auras.
Yep.
So we're getting an added benefit besides the benefit on the aura alone. Cards like Core Spirit Dancer, which of course is a Boggles All-Star.
Yes.
SRAM himself, as you mentioned, is in this deck.
Yep.
And plenty of incredible auras like, the Goat Ethereal Armor, All That Glitters, Ancestral Mask. This is just everything I've ever wanted.
I would argue Canopy Cover might be the best aura in this deck for the deck.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
Because it makes your creature unblockable and gives it hexproof. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yep, that's
what
all you want out of an aura.
I don't want to think about blockers.
And then sometimes you want to just kind of take an extra turn, and so then you have Bear Umbra, which is Howard Leone did this. It's a great piece of art, and also it just untaps all your lands every time you attack.
Hey, that sounds
In
good.
addition to making your creature
Cast more
impossible to
auras.
kill. Cast more auras.
I love it, Rob. Thank you so much
you're
for
welcome.
indulging my darkest desires.
Games
With
must
this
end,
deck.
and I agree with your assessment of we should be attacking with giant creatures. What's the problem here?
Yeah, thank you.
Games
Yep.
must
end.
Wow.
So that's my deck. What did you create for Meghan here?
So for Meghan, Meghan really loves Narset Transcendent.
I do.
Yes, Narset Transcendent is blue-white 2 for a Narset Planeswalker. It starts with 6 loyalty, which is quite a bit. +1 to look at the top card of your library. If it's a non-creature, non-land card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. -2 for when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell from your hand this turn, it gains Rebound. And Rebound means that it gets exiled as it resolves, and then on your next upkeep, it gets cast again. So it lets you double cast any of your instant
That
sorceries.
seems unfair.
It's pretty good. And it has -9. You get an emblem with your opponents can't cast non-creature spells. I genuinely have no idea if this deck could even make the
It ruins my deck. I'll say that.
Yeah. It ruins your deck. The thing is that Narset.
I'm going to combine the inside of the Numino with the outside of. What am I trying to say?
Just going to stack random things together.
Yeah.
Okay. So Narset is super, super cool. I understand why you love her. Her +1 needs a lot of help. I'm going to say that straight up. So I put a bunch of cantrips in here.
Amazing.
So there's Brainstorm, there's Ponder, there's Portent.
Whoa.
There's
This combo is OP.
Okay.
The mint of the Oreo with the cookie of the Numino, that's real good.
Okay. Noted.
Anyway.
So if you want to cast a lot of spells that look at the top of your library and draw a card, this deck will do that a lot.
Yes.
And you're running Thing in the Ice, Meghan, so there you go.
There's Thing in the Ice.
I love me a Thing in the Ice.
The signature spell for Narset here, I picked Narset's Reversal because it has Narset in the name, and also it's actually wacky good with her.
Yeah.
It's blue for an instant. Copy target instant or sorcery spell, then return it to its owner's hand. You may choose new targets for the copy. So the trick is you cast your spell on your turn, or you have Narset, you -2 Narset, you cast a spell with Rebound, it goes away and rebounds. On your next upkeep, it comes back with Rebound. You Narset's Reversal it, returning it to your hand.
Yeah.
And then so that you can cast it, and if you still have Narset at that point, which you do because you were casting your signature spell, you get to -2 and rebound it again.
Nice.
So notably, this is pretty cool with Baral's Expertise, which is return up to 3 target artifacts under creatures to their owner's hands, and then you may cast a card with mana cost 4 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost.
I'm so ready for this battle.
I'm very, very ready.
This is really cool.
Yeah. And you have, it's tricky to close games at this library. You're basically going to be playing Kefnet the Mindful or Octavia Living Thesis. Have you seen Octavia Living Thesis before?
I just looked at it now.
She says Ward 8, but I don't know if I've never seen anybody target her with anything.
Yeah. I mean,
this is a Strixhaven card, right?
This is a Strixhaven commander card.
Okay, yeah.
And so it has Magecraft. It gives things base power and toughness 8/8 for its Magecraft trigger.
Sick.
It costs 8 mana less to cast if you 8 or more instant or sorcery cards in
Don't
your
let
graveyard.
Meghan F around in this game forever and cast this dumb card.
This is not forever. I don't know if you've ever seen a deck that has 10 cantrips.
Okay, you're
This
right.
is turn 4.
Oh God!
just in my experience, we tried this out and I was like, I don't know, Octavia. And everybody's like, this is all right, cool.
Also, I love me a little Kefnet the Mindful.
Yep.
A big ol' indestructible burb, and I always want 7 cards in my hand anyways, all right?
Yep. And you'll generally be able to do that. I don't know if you ever cast Void Mage Husher, by the way.
No.
Void Mage Husher looks like a really terrible creature. It's a 2/2 for blue and 3 with flash, and when it enters the battlefield, counter target activated ability, and whenever you cast a spell, you may return it to its owner's hand.
Wow.
And so the reason that this is pretty reasonable is it counters planeswalker abilities.
Yeah, sure.
So I definitely have like
that seems good in Oathbreaker.
An Oathbreaker?
Yeah,
All right.
it's pretty good. You're sitting there and I definitely had Eric. He was like, "All right, Nicole Bolas planeswalker. I'm going to take that creature," and I'm like, "Nah." He's like, "But that creature is a bogle with lifelink or with like spirit like or with lifelink." And he's like, "I need to gain a bunch of life," and I'm like, "I understand. I have a plan for that bogle. The plan is not for you to have it because you can interact with me." He's like, "Oh, well, that was like a time walk. Your turn."
All right, like a time walk has been called. Terrified of Meghan with this deck.
Yeah, it's going to be very fun.
I'm very excited.
I am playing Arlen the Pax Hope.
She's great. We are big Arlen fans on Good Luck High Five.
I'm playing Arlen in the library and Arlen in the Oathbreaker zone, in the command zone. So I have both Arlens. I don't know if it's right to be playing the Pax Hope as the Oathbreaker. So she is green-red 2 for a Planeswalker Arlen. She's daybound. So she has a B-side because she's daybound, nightbound. And her +1.
She's like an LP from your favorite artist.
Yeah, she's like an LP from favorite artist. Her B-side's not terribly good. Her A-side is quite okay.
Great. Those are where the singles are.
Not good, you guys, and it's okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of songs you have to write. Okay, let them off the hook.
A lot, yeah.
Well, no, the original Arlen Cord, her A-side and B-side are both incredible. I've used every one of her abilities in like competitive games to win matches. She's great.
I kept having people in Shadows over Innistrad Remastered have this card in draft against me.
She's pretty good in limited.
She's very good in limited.
She starts at 4 loyalty. Her +1 is until your next turn you may cast creature spells as though they had flash, and each creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it.
Oh, I was talking Arlen Cord.
Oh, Arlen Cord. Oh yeah, Arlen Cord's a house.
In limited,
she gives haste and vigilance and trample and like
everything and lightning bolts things.
Lightning bolts things and
Anyway,
sorry. Tokens, yes.
Arlen the Pax Hope.
Arlen the Pax Hope. Her other abilities are on her front face is -3. Create 2/2 green wolf creature tokens.
Okay.
If you're -3ing her, I think that there's something that's gone a little wrong. It looks like she makes 2 tokens. She makes 4 power with the creatures for 4 mana, which is fine. Mm-hmm. But her +1 lets you actually do the werewolf thing. One of the things in multiplayer is that werewolves are kind of bad. Because you're just stuck on the front face all the time. It's hard to keep it night. And it's hard to transform your old Innistrad werewolves as well.
Yeah.
Arlen lets you play Arlen and then +1 and then just never play on your own turn again. Which is pretty valuable. Mm-hmm. And so that's the reason that I have her as the Oathbreaker, because even though she's less powerful, she fits the deck's plan better. Her signature spell that I have is Moon Mist. Which is a very weird magic card. Green in 1 instant, transform all humans. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn by creatures other than werewolves and wolves.
I had this in draft the other day. This was in the packs.
Yeah, in the new Innistrad Remastered, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Moon Mist is very powerful. What it doesn't do is it doesn't transform your daybound, nightbound werewolves, because they can only transform when it's daybound, nightbound. Mm-hmm. What it does transform is a bunch of other quality ones, and it just buys you a turn and protects Arlen, which is pretty important. If you play Arlen at 6 mana, you can plus her, pass the turn, and then you might have a 2-drop with flash, or you might have Moon Mist in your hand, and then somebody will try to kill her inevitably, and then you'll be like, all right, fine, I'll Moon Mist and save my Planeswalker.
And the Moon Mist is fairly cheap. It's only 2 mana. So
so you'll be able to cast it multiple times over the course of the game. What I found is that the most important card in this library is actually Immerwolf, weirdly enough. So Immerwolf is a werewolf from... It's a werewolf from...
Avacyn Restored?
Avacyn Restored, right? Yeah. Because this is... So it's... green-red 1 for a 2/2 wolf with Intimidate. Other wolf and werewolf creatures you control get +1/+1. The deck has a lot of lords. And it also says non-human werewolves you control can't transform. So while Immerwolf's on the battlefield, all of your werewolves can't turn back into humans.
That's very powerful.
It's very powerful. And this actually does work with the Daybound, Nightbound werewolves.
Okay.
So it will hold if it turns into day, they'll stay on their night side because they can't transform back to Daybound. Mm-hmm. As soon as Immerwolf stops being on the battlefield, they'll immediately revert to being Daybound.
Okay.
Interesting.
But, flashing an Immerwolf on somebody else's turn is very good because you can pass the turn, make it night, and then flash Immerwolf under Arlen and then lock your creatures on the good side.
Jeez.
Right?
That's cool.
Which allows you to actually win the game with a bunch of surprise werewolves that they're like, oh, those are all like 2/2s that don't do anything. And I'm like, no, they're actually 4/4s that don't do anything. But
they attack good.
Yes, they attack much better now.
Yeah.
It's got just a bunch of fun stuff, a bunch of like reasonable instants, Beast Fin, Lightning Bolt kind of stuff. It's got the Celestis is another way to make it Night by surprise.
It's a very cool deck.
Night by surprise.
So I simultaneously really love it because I love Arlencourt. She and Kiora are my two favorite planeswalkers. But it's also really kind of tinkery to play, kind of annoying because you have to track day-night and also these other werewolves that transform under a different condition than day-night.
Sure.
Yeah. And so you have to like pay attention to every spell everybody's casting and be like, all right, you cast 2 spells on my turn, and that means that this werewolf transforms, but I didn't cast any spells on my turn, so it's going to be night. And so like
some people are into that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's fun, but like it's not like a cool, chill, like I'm just gonna make a giant bogle and attack kind of deck.
Yeah.
And Eric put together Nicole Bolas, Elder Dragon God.
So Eric is another player that we're going to be playing with in this video, by the way.
Yeah, he's a judge friend of mine. Judges a lot of local events, runs a lot of like RCQs, and just loves to play multiplayer stuff. We jam all the time, and so
I respect this choice. Also,
I've also played with him on Team Trios teams a couple of times. He likes Legacy, and so he like.
I see.
Yeah,
it's nice to have someone.
It's nice to have a legacy person. Well, also like he plays a legacy deck that just has Tundras in it.
I need to know.
Great.
It's his only valuable card. It's because it's blue-white robots. So, so Nicole Bolas Dragon God is red, black, blue for a 4 loyalty legendary planeswalker Bolas. This is the one from War of the Spark. So it has the static ability. Nicole Bolas Dragon God has all loyalty abilities of all other planeswalkers on the battlefield.
Quite mean.
This seems quite rude. Like an oath-breaking breaker.
It doesn't do anything. His loyalty ability is just so much better than all the other ones.
How dare you?
It is true that line of text, even in like standard or other formats where this dragon gets played, it's often like, well, I could do your thing, but why would I when I can do my own thing?
The reason that it matters is because it's got Nicole Bolas Planeswalker, the original Planeswalker in this library, and that has a +3. It doesn't matter what it does, but it's a +3.
But it makes it go up.
Yes. And so Nicole Bolas' normal loyalty abilities are +1, you draw a card. Each opponent exiles a card from their hand or a permanent they control. -3, destroy target creature or planeswalker. -8, each opponent who doesn't control a legendary creature or planeswalker loses the game. That one is actually achievable.
Oh, okay.
That's like I said, because you can +3 with original Nicole Bolas Planeswalker.
Oh, sure.
And then you can actually climb up.
Gross.
Yeah. So it's not impossible. I during one of our test games, Eric definitely killed the Bogles deck with. I'll
get revenge today.
Yeah, you will. And so the signature spell for this is the very excellent illustrated Deliver Unto Evil. This is black and 2 for a sorcery. Choose up to 4 target cards in your graveyard. If you control a Bolas Planeswalker, return those cards to your hand. Otherwise, an opponent chooses 2 of them. Leave the chosen cards in your graveyard and put the rest into your hand. And then it exiles Deliver Unto Evil, but that means it goes back to the command zone, which is all that you were doing anyways.
And do you know what? If you're casting this, you do control a Bolas Planeswalker.
Yeah, they can kill the Bolas Planeswalker in response, so you only get 2 cards.
Yeah.
That's not impossible.
Wow.
But they probably wanted to kill it before he tried to cast Deliver Unto Evil, honestly.
This has some real bangers in it.
Yeah.
The Locust God. Yep. Hello, friend.
Oh, yeah.
It plays a lot of mana rocks because it counts on Deliver Unto Evil to rebuy it, having a bunch of cards.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm in danger.
This is the villain deck, obviously.
Wow.
It plays Terminate, it plays Dreadbore, it plays all sorts of low mana value things. It amasses a lot. So that's its trade-off is that it plays a bunch of like Aven Eternal, Gleaming Overseer, pretty medium cards that amass because it's thematic to War of the Spark. But then sometimes it casts Widespread Brutality like every other turn and so it just suppresses away the board.
I see.
Your goal is to kill it before he becomes too evil.
Okay.
So
on it.
Everyone knows that with time it become more evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's you either die a hero or live long enough to become Nicole Bolas.
That is the famous quote.
Very famous.
So, like, these are the ones that we're going to be playing. The Oathbreaker community had a whole bunch of really good ones that that when I was like, hey, what decks do people love that are really cool?
Tell us some.
Yeah, Chandra, Acolyte of Flame, which just like sets people on fire. It plays Flame Rift as its signature spell, which is just 4 damage to each player.
You're on 20 life, so
yeah, you're on 20 life in
love
Oathbreaker. There's no commander damage. Flame Rift is like commander damage. It ends games pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like I have Kira Behemoth Beckoner stamp deck. This person had a Kira Behemoth Beckoner like regular deck.
I almost asked about making a Kira Behemoth Beckoner deck.
She's very fun.
Yeah.
She ramps. She draws you cards. She starts with unlimited loyalty because she starts at 7.
Yeah.
This one that this person pitched uses Flash, which is put a creature card from your hand out of the battlefield, pay its cost reduced by 2. And if you don't, sacrifice it.
That's really cool.
And so the only creature in the library that was World Spine Worm. And so the deck is just in a hunt for World Spine Worm. And it's very funny.
Cute.
Love that.
You're just going on safari for World Spine Worm.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
like it's
find
playing
the worm.
the fairest Flash you will ever see, except that you're making 3 5/5s. So like it's not that fair.
Oh, that's cute.
Another pitch was Lord Windgrace. The look at the kitties that is so great.
Yeah,
you play
we
with
have
Lord Windgrace
beautiful
with the look at the
Lord
kitties.
Windgraces now.
This Lord Windgrace's signature spell was Scapeshift. I believe you killed me in a PTQ with this once.
With
Megan.
Scapeshift?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Sounds like something I would
that
do.
sounds like me.
Yeah, you were playing Titan Shift, and I was like, all right, I'm going to blow up your lands. And you're like, I'm in. And I was like, oh no.
Great. Bring it.
So, yeah. This deck also features Orcish Lumberjack, which is just one of my favorite silly cards of all time.
What is this?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I've never seen it before.
Yeah, it sacrifices your forest to make mana. It like turns your forest into dark rituals. It's very funny.
Oh, okay. That's a great
Very
card.
cute.
Squandered Resources and Titania Protector of Argoth. Like, it's just fun cards.
Yeah.
Another one, this one is, I had to mention it because it's just a great pun. It's so you know that they printed the Dracula cards that have the alternate names.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is called Dr. Acula's Without Borders. It's all extended art cards.
Yes.
I'm here for this deck.
Yes. And so it's just Dracula themed cards, vampires, and they're all extended art cards that are all borderless.
That's great.
It's very it also looks like a very reasonable deck, but I was like, look, I would play this deck just for the joke and see if anybody
We
got
might
it.
have to have an
Aesthetics.
Oathbreaker video at some point that's like bits. It's bits
Yeah.
decks.
Yeah, you can commit to the bit because it's fairly small.
Yeah.
And so like there's other good ones. There's like all the Karns are actually pretty fun. The Venser the Sojourner Cloud Shift deck that somebody shipped was pretty great. Saheeli Sublime Artificer, who is is she the bad Saheeli in this format? I never remember. The 6-mana Saheeli is the really good one.
Yeah.
The Thoughtcaster is the signature spell for that. I didn't take any of the Teferi Time Raveler decks I looked at because I think that Teferi Time Raveler is a deep mistake and I don't want to play him.
I also looked at Teferi and I was like, this is too mean and I won't participate.
So
I mean, like, you have to think about Rule 0, right? With Commander,
Yeah.
think about Oathbreaker too.
And like playing powerful cards is fine. Like the Nicole Bolas deck is playing a bunch of powerful cards. I don't have a problem with powerful cards. I think that like Teferi's a mistake. All of the Curse Walkers are mistakes, and Companions are mistakes. Like sometimes I have to play them in order to be competitive. But like, there's a difference between playing them in competitive formats and having fun with my friends.
Did you say all the Curse Walkers?
Yeah. The Planeswalkers like Teferi, like Karn, that hurt your opponent.
Oh, gotcha.
So there's Narset.
Yeah.
The ones that like
Me
have a
and
static.
Narset.
Well, yeah, they have a static.
that
They
you-
have a static that punishes your opponent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Statics that benefit you, like the Kiora one, I think are great. They're very fun. But statics that your opponent has to track and then make their life worse for you having a Planeswalker,
Yeah.
I'm not such a huge fan.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And so there's all sorts of these. There's, you can pick 2 thematic spells and then build an interesting deck that happens to be able to play them. I've got Null Creatures, Vivian on the Hunt deck that's pretty fun. Like,
Great.
there's just a bunch of fun things. And
it's very like, it's so wide open right now.
Yes, the brewing I've seen people doing. People are excited about this.
yeah. And just like in Commander, there's a variety of like ways that you can play, right? CDH is fun if everybody's playing CDH, right? I don't know if you've played much CDH, but like you get to play like legacy level stuff.
Right.
This is very similar. You get to play legacy and vintage level stuff. And as long as everybody's buying in and like nobody's like playing a deck that costs $15, you're doing good. Like,
Nice.
but so if people are like, this format's broken, like the really, really broken stuff, the committee is pretty good about banning. And if you have a proof of concept deck that's like, this deck is crazy, I've tested it, beat up everybody in every game, everybody I played in every game we played, they'll take a look at it, copy the deck, and then beat people up at their lunch with it. They play it every day. So,
oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, I'll do it. Like we'll sit down and figure it out. Like Expropriate is banned in this format, which isn't necessarily obviously crazy, but it wins the game every time you cast it. Yeah. So, and deterministically, and it makes your opponent angry because its process to winning the game is like taking infinite turns and taking all their lands.
That's rude.
It's no good.
Well, it seems like a very exciting space for everybody to play in around now because it's now official. It's on the Magic website.
Yes.
You can get to Magic Kids information through the Magic website as well, which is awesome. If you're interested in setting up a play group in your area, nor somebody who is and want a free kit. I am excited to make some decks and play some decks.
Yes.
So the decks we talked about on the show today, we're making a video. We're filming it right after this, everybody.
Yes.
So watch our social media accounts and, subscribe to our feed at youtube.com/goodluck5 to see when that goes live. Because I'm very excited to see what happens and how brutally I'm going to kill the Nicol Bolas player.
That's very reasonable. The early game interaction is determine whether or not Bogles gets to keep any permanents. Because if you get to keep permanents, then you're a real threat.
You haven't even met him yet, but you're already machinating his death.
Yep. And Eric will understand. Eric will go, well, yeah, of course I'm the villain. I built a Nicol Bolas deck.
Great. Everybody, it's time for a new chapter of Storytime with Megan.
That's right. Maria.
What?
We are on New Phyrexia.
Brothers War is behind us.
Brothers War is behind us. We are back in the present day.
Okay. Wow. That was a lot of time in the past.
Yes, it was a lot of time in the past.
I started to get a nosebleed.
From being in the past?
From being in the past too long. I've just got to feel like it does mess with you physically.
Yeah.
We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
I thought about Primer a lot. If y'all haven't seen Primer, watch Primer. You can thank me later. You won't understand what's happening, but you will enjoy the experience. Okay.
All right. So we are traveling to New Phyrexia with a team of planeswalkers, right? Who are going there with like a strike team to try and blow the place up.
And they've got the new Silex they made.
Yes.
They don't know where the on.
They don't know the on. They have a really ambiguous on button.
Right. They're like, it's
a
on
really
here,
nebulous picture.
Don't
on
know if we're
button.
supposed to press it. If it's like a switch.
No, it's the right person with the right feelings to push the button. Okay.
So weird.
So here they are on New Phyrexia, but it turns out that unfortunately they traveled to New Phyrexia and Elishnorr knew. She knew and was expecting them, Maria. So there's some kind of like we arrived there with Kato the Wanderer and Nahiri.
Okay.
Right? They all end up landing together on like a weird. Like, Kato gets there and he feels like they hit like a wall when they try and go through onto the plane, right? He like hits a weird electrostatic wall and like fades out of consciousness. And when he wakes up, he's like, oh, look at this beautiful beach that I'm on. I'm on this like really beautiful beach. There's nothing wrong on this beach.
Oh, it's a
beach
mirage
nice?
situation.
It's like more than a mirage. It's like in his head, right?
Oh, weird.
He's like, look at this
mirage.
beautiful. There's nothing I need to do on this beach except like relax and be one with the beautiful warm
He got
sand.
a massage with CBD oil.
Like, here's the ocean. What a nice New Phyrexia is a nice place. And then the Wanderer is like, snap out of it, bucko, and slaps him across the face.
I was gonna say snap out of it.
Yeah, she literally like shakes him and is like, snap out of it, and slaps him.
Now that's a friendship for the ages.
And he's like, I don't want to. My dream is pretty and nice. But then he wakes up and it turns out that the sand is like actually weird New Phyrexia metallic sand that's trying to eat him.
Oh, well.
Bad times.
Sometimes I feel like the sand that gets in my swimsuit's trying to eat me.
And then the Wanderer is like, oh, unfortunately, the wall that they hit is interfering with her ability to connect and resonate with the plane. So she's like flickering in and out of existence, as the Wanderer does.
Her spark is unstable.
And so she's like having trouble stabilizing on the plane, but she's like, Kato, wake up. And he looks around and he's like, actually, this place is not a nice beach.
Yeah, no.
It is a spooky, like, it is like flat and sandy, but unfortunately the sand is weird metallic sand that wants to bite you.
Okay.
And then
Nightmare fuel.
Nahiri is like fighting this giant weird tentacled like blisterzoa thing, right? It's like a big like squid with lots of arms.
Squid.
And the Wanderer and Kato are like, dang, look at Nahiri take that thing down. Because Nahiri does. Nahiri just like lithomances, like stone and metal and stuff, and just like takes the whole thing down. Like,
Encases it
in
in
case
those
it
things?
like takes it, like she like uses all of the metallic sandstone sand to grab it and pull it down, and then she stabs it with her giant stone sword.
Sick.
It is pretty sick. But do you know what? Nahiri got a cut fighting that thing.
Oh no!
But it's not a problem. It's going to be totally fine.
Fine.
I'm
sure it's fine.
I'm sure it's
Don't
totally
worry about
cool and
it.
fine. Don't
Yep.
worry about it.
Yep.
Nahiri got cut fighting a weird Phyrexian, but don't worry. It was a shallow cut. No big deal.
Oh boy.
So anyways, they all pull themselves together and they're like, oh no, we have to go find the other planeswalkers. We were all trying to go to the furnace level. I forget what the furnace something.
Yeah, the part because
Urabrask's level.
The planet is like sliced like
it's
an
like
onion.
it's a bunch of spheres.
Layers. Yeah, spheres.
Yeah.
That's
so
what
they're
it
on a
is.
top sphere where they can see the 5 suns, but they're not nice. They're all like obscured and muddied by all this weird metal sand. So they walk for a long time. They walk and they walk, and then they're like, whoa, what's that weird statue thing up there? And it turns out that the weird statue thing is Tyvar, who did the thing where he turned himself into like stone because he was being attacked. He was being attacked by Phyrexians, right?
That's
like a bunch
neat
of weird of
ability.
them. And then they're
an
like,
armadillo.
so what they see is they're like, look at that weird elf statue. What the heck's going on with that and all those tentacles?
Oh.
And then they start fighting all the tentacles, and then the statue falls, and then Tyvar become
Oh, hey,
regular
I
elf
was in
again.
here.
Elf, and he's like
Inside my hard candy shell.
At first he's like, I'm gonna fight you because they don't all know each other, and then they're like, no, we're all here to do the same thing,
We're
take
cool?
down the
Are you cool?
Phyrexians. And Tyvar's like, my bad, I'm cool. Let's keep going. So they keep trudging, and then they finally meet Malira, who's one of the leaders of the Mirren Resistance on New Phyrexia. And they're all on this outer shell. She's like, oh, this is the monumental facade, right? This is an outside shell. The color on the M&M.
Yeah, yes.
We're
green,
on the color
of
on
course.
the M&M. Yes. And she's like, okay, now we're all gonna go down to the next level. And she just like bangs her stick on a crumbly part of the facade, and they all fall through. And she's like, Nahiri, you're a lithomancer, right? And Nahiri's like, yeah. And she's like, better save us. And so Nahiri slows like
that's
the
funny.
chunk of earth that they're on. And they're like, we could have died. And Valera's like, if you died doing this, you were screwed anyways. So.
Yeah. So I decided to
do you
take
know
a
what?
chance.
I decided that we were all going to fall to our death right now, or you would save us and we'll die sometime later on.
Yeah.
You know what? It is. At this point, they run into Malira, and the Wanderer unfortunately phases out. Right? She travels away. She can no longer.
She's like a fuzzy TV station.
Exactly.
Trying to
And
get
they
reception.
lost it. They lost the reception for a little bit.
They lost her reception.
Yes. And Malira is like trying to. They were like, oh, the Phyrexians built this shell over Mirrodin to block out our vision of like our sight of our suns. And so we're on the next layer down, which is what they call Mirex, which was Mirrodin. And she's like really insulting. They don't even call it Mirrodin. And also, obviously, nothing grows here. It's just like a wasteland because you put a shell over it.
Because you put a shell.
And Kato looks around and is like, yeah, this place is an awful thing to do to a planet / people.
I wish I was still on the beach.
So there you go. Yes, where's that nice beach I was on? And Malira's like, okay, now we're going to go into these weird tunnels where gravity is flipped around. So to get to the... This is what happened, Maria.
Okay.
So they were on like the shell level, and to get from shell onto Mirex, they fall through a hole.
Okay.
And to get from Mirex to the furnace... keep forgetting.
Sphere.
The furnace sphere, where you're going to go in a tunnel, right? Where the tunnel goes vertically down. But when you stand in the tunnel, your gravity is like the other way. So you can walk along the tunnel.
This is some Willy Wonka.
The tunnel goes down, but
crap.
you can walk along the side of the tunnel. The gravity goes that way. So you walk down to the next level.
Wow.
Pretty sick, right?
That's cool.
And as they're walking, Nahiri's like, I feel weird.
Well, yeah.
And Nahiri feels weird, and she like touches the spot where the bandage is, and she's like, "Oh yeah, there's Phyrexia there. like she got Phyrexian
She feels
oil.
it creeping.
Yep, and she feels it, and she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm infected. That's a death sentence, right? She's like, there's no coming back from this. She doesn't ask Malira if she could cure her, which would maybe be a good idea. Malira is like a healer, but she's like, nope, not asking any questions.
So she
Not
doesn't tell
telling
anybody.
She doesn't tell anybody. She's like, what are they going to do?
People.
They would fight me. And you know what? I would fight them back because I don't want to die, even though I'm a Phyrexian. So she just keeps going, and she's like, this sucks. Anyways,
here we are.
yeah. And so she's like, yeah, this is like, it's best. She's like, it's best that I help them get as far as they possibly can. And then, eventually I'll transform and Phyrexian and die.
Yeah.
She thinks she Phyrexian and die.
Sad.
I know. Nahiri. I like Nahiri. Also, Kato and the Wanderer are impressed with Nahiri. They're like, dang. Girl can fight.
Yeah.
Which we know. Dang, girl can fight.
Saved us.
Nahiri did nothing wrong.
Saved us from falling down a hole into a pit of nothingness.
Exactly. Nahiri's great. So yeah, they're now going down to, why can I not remember? I know.
Sphere.
But no, it's called the furnace something.
The furnace.
The great furnace. The big time furnace.
The furnace party room.
The furnace.
The rumpus room.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
So now they're going down to furnace level 0.
They are just calling it the furnace layer. Never mind. All right, they're going down to the furnace layer. The Wanderer re-travels to New Phyrexia, but she only arrives at the Mirren camp on the surface level where they had met Malira.
Okay.
And at this point, right, the Malira found them, so the camp is completely scraped away and gone. Yeah. And the Wanderer is like, I can't find them. I don't know where they are. And she's like, I could have warned them. They have no idea what they're walking into. The Wanderer, I think, might know that this is a trap, but we don't know. And she's like, well, I have to go because that's the way my spark works. So we know that there is something that the Wanderer wanted to tell them. Nahiri is on her way to being Phyrexian, unfortunately. Sad times. Yeah, and Tyvar and Kato and Malira and soon-to-be Phyrexian Nahiri are making their way down to the furnace layer where hopefully they'll be able to meet up with the other planeswalkers. But will they? Seems like that plan's already having a hard time.
Yeah. The best laid plans often go wrong on New Phyrexia.
Yes.
No matter how you try, how planning you do. Anyway, wow, that was pretty intense.
Story time.
Story time. New Phyrexia.
Yeah. We can get into chapter 2 next week. What's happening on New Phyrexia?
Let's do it.
We need to find out. Will they explode it? Wow, something tells me no.
I've got a feeling I don't know if they're ever going to figure out that
on Switch. Feeling.
But maybe I'm wrong.
We'll see.
Hey everybody, that's this episode. Thank you to Judge Rob for coming and explaining Oathbreaker to us.
Yes.
Some cool new cards and stuff. And hopefully that's got your brain brewing on what kind of things you could build in the new format.
Hopefully you are also, really mad about Nahiri's imminent, move to Phyrexia.
Spooky.
Bad times.
I'm still thinking about that sand, man.
Her soon Phyrexianization. I was like, what do they call it? Phyrexianization. Bad times.
Yeah. We're going to be back next week with more story time with Meghan. March of the Machine spoilers.
Lots of March of the Machine to talk about.
Yes, they're starting this week, everybody. Yeah. So our preview is going to be on April 1st, which is a Saturday. So you're going to have to be on the tweets, the bird site, to find out what our preview card is, which it's really good. Yeah. I think it's awesome. So I'm really excited to show it to you all. So follow us on Twitter at GLHF Magic if you want to see that.
Or on Instagram.
Or Insta.
Let's put it over there. If you're like, no, thank you. To Twitter, I respect that. We'll also put it over on IG.
Slowly decaying over there.
It is. Its functionality is going downhill.
Questionable. We'll put it on Insta too, so you can check that out. And then we'll talk about all the new cards because March of the Machine is creeping up on us. Comes out April 21st, global release. And of course, a pre-release before that.
Yeah.
My gosh. So much happening at such a quick pace, everybody. And we'll see you back here for it all next week.
Thank you so much again to all of our new patrons.
Yes.
For all of the work that you are doing personally to fight winter.
You are doing God's work.
Yes.
Literally.
Yeah.
It should be God's job.
It's their job to melt the snow, but are they doing it? No. No. So there you are, filling in. Thank you.
Thank you.